Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good luck sleeping. You're watching PNT. I'm your host, insulted by your unspoken insinuations. Up front this week, according to multiple sources online, one scientist is hoping to provide final proof of the existence of the Loch Ness monster. University of Otago in New Zealand will lead an international team in June to obtain samples of water that might just contain DNA evidence of the legendary cryptid. The Loch Ness monster, also known as Nessie, has been the subject of sightings and searches since at least the 6th century AD, with the first description of the creature being an account set down by an Irish monk. St. Columba describes attending the funeral of a local man who had apparently been attacked by a water beast. The modern interest in Nessie began with George Spicer's 1933 sighting and eventually produced the now infamous 1934 surgeon's photograph, itself a matter of some controversy. Over the years, there have been continued sightings and attempts to film, trap, and hunt the monster, with most ending in failure. Some few, such as the Robert Rhine study in 1972, have turned up fascinating evidence that there might just be a creature or group of creatures living in the icy waters of the Loch. Professor Gemmell and his team hope to put the issue to rest one way or the other by testing water samples from the Loch in order to detect the DNA of any species living there. Planning to obtain samples from 300 different locations and depths, the team will match the results against a database of known species. While Gemmell himself is not a believer in Nessie, the professor sees it as a possibility to test the various theories and to obtain a current survey of the biodiversity within Loch Ness. Professor Gemmell admits that science may not have all the answers, however, stating that sometimes what you find may not be what you were expecting. From mythical monsters to possible planets, our next story takes us to the far edges of the solar system, where scientists have just discovered further evidence of a possible 9th planet. An international team of scientists from the Dark Energy Survey recently spotted a new celestial object, dubbed 2015 BP 519. But what makes this find unusual is the strange orbit this new discovery has. Called the most extreme trans-Neptunian object found to date, BP 519 has missed detection until now due to its extreme orbital angle of 54 degrees. Puzzled by this anomaly in comparison to the relatively flat orbits of the other known planets, scientists have concluded that the likeliest explanation is the existence of an unknown larger gravity force acting upon BP 519. Reasoning that if the object had been formed along with the other planets, something had to explain how BP 519 had been kicked into its current elliptical orbit at a 54-degree angle to the other planets. Speculation has raged over the existence of Planet 9 for decades, with some believers stating that Nibiru's return to the inner planets will bring everything from global devastation to contact with an extraterrestrial civilization. While scientists caution that the findings are not yet conclusive, this does add another solid piece to the growing mass of evidence that Planet 9, or Niburu, might just actually exist after all. For our part, PNT hopes that the final proof of Planet 9's existence will come more in the form of arrival rather than when worlds collide. Rocket sled, anyone? For our final part in our weekly roundup of the weird, PNT is pleased to bring you another episode of Fact or Fake. In our last episode, we showed you this piece of footage allegedly taken by newlyweds on their honeymoon in Paris. Appearing to show a UFO flying behind the Arc de Triomphe, was this recording a real witness event, or a dish of deception PNT created to test your appetite for fraud? According to the results of our poll and your comments, our results were mixed, with 60% of you voting for fake and 40% choosing neither. Once again, our faithful viewers proved up to the task, correctly discerning that the Paris UFO footage was indeed a fake, created by PNT using stock footage and green screen elements easily found on YouTube solely for the purposes of this segment. For those who couldn't decide, we'll show you the clue we left in. Look closely as the UFO flies through the middle of the arc, specifically the left-hand side. PNT left in a momentary overlap where the UFO is actually in front of the arc, something that wouldn't be possible if it were truly flying behind in the distance. We'll be back soon with more fact or fake tests for our faithful viewers. Next week, we'll be covering the mysterious Betz Sphere. Did one ordinary family in 1974 find proof of an extraterrestrial civilization? We'll lay out the facts and let you decide. Do you have suggestions for future episodes? Mysteries you'd like to see us explore? Horrible, mind-searing rituals meant to summon the elder gods and bring about the fall of mankind while you laugh maniacally? Sound off in the comments section below. That's it for this time, faithful viewers. Be sure to click like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to be notified when we upload your next portion of the paranormal. I'm your host, reminding you to keep an open mind, because a closed one shuts out the truth.